probably Galio Nemesis on the mid lane. Oh, come on. No. Okay.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Like, it makes sense. It's just...
It had to be the Thresh, yeah. It had
B5.
Yeah, you need to protect that. You don't have the Gale Force yet. You no longer have the Gale Force. You need to protect him. You need to give him a lantern. You need a sliver of hope, a light.
Very, very old school, you know, pairing. When the Aphelios first came out, the Thresh was very, very, very good at just kind of providing what it needs to with the lantern. I think especially against Trundle Pillar, it's going to be great. I do worry about its ability to, you know, protect Aphelios from the Vi and the Galio and the Nico, but I guess we'll have to see how much work Obstinatus is going to have his cut out for him as Verdant. Match point, backs against the wall. Needs to be something special, and they've backed out the Thresh Aphelios in the bot lane.
I love the worlds where Vi is the top laner and Trundle is the jungler. So this could be it. Salaria Jamada. Name tags off.
But we haven't seen him as much because he doesn't have Gale Force anymore, and that makes him a lot trickier to play.
Man, this champion feels so miserable because they just took away that one mobility thing that he had, right? One thing that could give him those big wombo combos like the huge moonlight visions with the Gale Force forward. Talking about forward, Noodle might be too far forward.
They are going to have to back away very fast there. Sankux getting to run away as well. Everyone's still on a flank angle. Look at me. I think he just spotted it a little bit. They'll step in and throw down some wards. BAUS stepping on forwards again regardless.
Stop Chicken out from walking that tower.
Does it finally have that level 2, switches weapons, gets a little bit of safety back. Actually does get that dark passage back to safety. Can look potentially for the binding eclipse. Gets the flay back. Now Velia's in danger. They can turn it around. Moonshot! Not required. Just an auto is enough and they turn it all around.
Again, reminder of game number 2. That's
the villain's entrance, not the hero's entrance. It was a stolen one.
Sankux right there trying to protect Obstinatus, but with Dragon up and available, Verdant is going to focus on that as Verdant are focusing on BAUS.
In comes the Permafrost and the Glacial Prison, and Tayron will say, you do not go and you do not pick up 350 gold.
That's a kill over to Tayron Sambesa, which I'm going to be very honest with you. I feel like Tayron has really been struggling in this matchup versus BAUS, so get him just a little bit ahead onto this Sambesa. He's a little bit freeing for him, I guess, over in the laning phase. Let's see how he chooses to translate that as Nemesis just walks up, Qs, steals one Void Grab, no +1 tick on the I forgot what it's called, but the fifth rank of the neutral objectives. You'll probably know this.
You do actually get it for you. It's the objective marker, but yeah. No,
oh, you got 2 actually.
Now.
True.
You do get 2. Now, actually, also they get a kill on the other side as Velia tried to cross map and gets punished by the death sentence into the Severum Crescendum combo.
Scaling composition. They're playing for late game team fights, and they found Velia.
Another death sentence, and that'll be the Permafrost stacking as well. These picks have been brutal. In comes Nemesis, but look, Sen comes in with a dark passage assisted Bomb Blossom. In comes the Moonlight Vigil, and a second one's picked up. Doesn't even need to use the Binding Eclipse. They get a double on to Shiganari. This Aphelios is well and truly online.
Absolutely, 4-0, even a bounty on top of his head. This sort of let's play around the 80 carry composition seems to be working so well for Verdant, even though a little bit unorthodox in terms of it's an Aphelios, and we don't necessarily see that champion very often as a Obstinatus tries his luck. Oh!
Pop Blossom comes on down, flash out from Chronic, but there's still a Binding Eclipse, looks to cleanse and flash out, uses the ult 2, gets to stay safe, TP's beginning to fly, Nemesis looking for the shield of Duran, Torn onto the front line, and Senkux TP'd at a half HP and just gets melted!
Hold on a minute. We talked about a 4-0 on Aphelios, but he hasn't cashed in yet. He doesn't have any more items in his inventory, which means he's dead even with the rest. As Los Ratones are looking for even more, but this should just most certainly be the case. There's not a lot of mana in Obstinatus champion or Shiganari's champ right there. A little bit overforced, but they get out. Yeah.
Another back interrupted though, and they're getting increasingly annoying. And yes, Verdant is off hitting Noodle though on a flank angle. Gonna try and find a way to turn it around as they go in with that cease and desist, and Obstinatus just dies. The flank is turned into a bit of an awkward sit there and watch their player die. Reckless looking for a blooming burst onto Noodle, who has to sort of back away. Dragon has spawned, and without the support, the man advantage gives LR the opportunity to start it up.
Yeah, Thresh is a pseudo-tanky champion. You can't really be face-checking. If you get caught, you're gonna go down really quickly. They showcase that right there, and then
out comes the pillar. Subjugate down as well. Public execution onto nothing and no one. Doesn't quite go down, but is forced to reset here a little awkwardly. The turret is going to be picked up surely by BAUS as a result.
Yeah, Los RATONES are trying to play away from Shigenari's Aphelios right now, which is very wise. Try to isolate side lanes, take down Tayron on the Ambessa. Didn't end up getting his flash either. However, they're going to trade the neutral objective with
You can get a good Moonlight Vigil. You can get a big combo with your abilities and get some of those free weapon switches and find some moments, but this will keep happening on the side lane. In goes BAUS, Crownie follows with the killer instinct. And that instinct was correct. Tayron finds himself in a 30-second grave.
Yeah, Verdant are going to use the Rift Herald right now. Use the numbers advantage that they have on the map, at least for the time being, to take that mid lane tier 1 tower.
Nice little flash to interrupt the Justice Punch. Flashing on forward from Noodle. Going to get the Permafrost down. Pop Blossom in response, though. Velia turning up. Trying to turn it around with the hero's entrance, but there's a dark passage out to safety. BAUS now hunting. Has got flash to work with. Can look for something more. Cooldown's not that long. Speedy at this point with the tier 2 boot. Looking for another Q. Mega Blast Cone. Just out to safety. Flash not quite enough to get in range, but Noodle now split off from his team. Turret was secured all the while. There's another dark passage. Can Noodle get to it, or is it going to get body blocked? Not quite enough. Turnaround, they've stolen Velia's ult. The Subjugate could be valuable here. And that Verdant actually do a good job of extracting the skulls. Well, we'll know Shigenari has died. BAUS in danger. Needs to try and back away here a little bit. Looking to go on forward. Straight down step into the public execution. He's overstepped. He will die now. Surely no way out for the Vi. And Los RATONES lose their top laner, even if he buys a second or two more.
Yeah, that was one of the longest plays in history as Los RATONES take advantage of all the chaos going on the top of the map and majority of Verdant, not majority, well, the whole of Verdant being stuck on the top ends up falling as well. So overall, a 1-for-1, but Los RATONES redeemed that by taking that mid lane tier 2 tower.
All the while, though, Verdant have reset. Now come back out onto the Rift. Forget to pick up this dragon. Well, at least start to. TPs begin to fly. We are getting a bit of a fracas on the board. BAUS on a flank angle. Didn't come on in. Nemesis as well. Going to be spotted out as they try to turn on the Galio. Turning to pick him up all the while on the other side. Tayron and Obstinatus find space with the box. In comes the Galio Hero's entrance. Dragon secured, but they're going to turn it around now onto Velia. All the while, though, Crownie out to the backside for Killer Instinct. He gets the double. The Moonlight Vigil. Shigenari takes a few back with him. They can't quite finish up. But wait, what about the turnaround? The cease and desist stops Tayron from claiming the lives he so desperately wanted to claim. It's Crownie with the triple. He remains untouched. Minutes for Dragon into Baron. It's looking pretty difficult here for Verdant for all. There's been a moment or two on screen at least where it's felt like they had some options.
Yeah, and Atakan is being started right here, as you rightfully mentioned. 4 members of Verdant, but no one's really getting anywhere near. They do not have vision. They would be face checking, and that could be GG right here if you face check one too many times. Now, of course, I wanted to point out that even though they did their best from the side of Verdant to get those skills onto Aphelios, Crownie has found his way back in. All those tower platings, the side lane towers, constant gank on the side lanes, 403 on the castle, 1.4k up, 2 items.
You're going pick CC into a Chem Soul, which will give you tenacity, those wonderful things. Gonna try and turn around to the BAUS, who just take a fair amount of damage into the stolen cease and desist. He gets so much back, though. Senkok's had to flash away. Noodle now in danger. He's turned into his namesake. He's dinner. Down goes Senkox as well, who is cut down in his... I'm not even sure it's prime at this point, really, is it? In this game, 1 and 3 on the silence, having a rough old time. Crownie with the Killer Instinct, looking for the orders. Tayron trying to get on with the Drake House up and just can't do it. BAUS debating going forward. Of course he does. It's another good Moonlight Vigil. He'll get 1 back with Shigenari, but the fireworks mean nothing. It's a festival for Los RATONES.
He gets 2 in the end, but it's an ace for Los RATONES, and right here, they're gonna get to push that bot lane tower. I'm thinking that... I thought that we're gonna TP back right here, but let's watch one more time. Watch check. Noodle's gonna have to do it for them as BAUS is looking for Shigenari.
He goes the distance. In comes the hero's entrance, and Galio brings the pain. They'll pick up absolutely everyone in the mid lane. It's Noodle and Senkox alone, trying to clear the wave desperately to hold on to the game. And Los RATONES will be having none of that. A triple over to Velia.
And you just see how simple it is. No mobility, no flash, no barrier. Press R, stun him into place. Everyone dives in. Shigenari dead. He's the whole damage from the side of Verdant. He was the last choice of damage, and he is down. And Los RATONES are taking everything in that base.
10 seconds to go, and Los RATONES have decided they've had not quite enough. They'll take a Nexus turret and then go back towards the inhibitors. A little umming and ahhing there. They'll have the base critically broken. They'll play it slow. No mistakes. No mess. Just ruthless efficiency for now. TP's coming in.
Uh-oh.
Verdant want to play them on the reset. Have they spent too long here? Maybe I overspoke. Now Nemesis in danger. Throws out the shield of Durant. Seconds looking for an angle. Gets into the backside. But he's very alone. Needs to start backing away. Public execution. But it's only onto the BAUS, who just does not give a damn right now. Permafrost not fully stacked. The Moonlight Vigil not quite enough to bring down Reckless. It was close, but not enough. In comes the Void Seeker. Crowny has 3 seconds on his ult. You can see what he's thinking. He's got mana. Can he consider an ult in? It would be bold. But it is Crowny. He's feeling strong. The W's keep landing. That's finally one that misses, and he won't press the trigger.
And you would expect that this would be the perfect timing for Verdant to fight. Los RATONES had not had their backs, they hadn't had their resets, they hadn't gotten the extra gold in their pockets translated into items yet. So I really commend Verdant for trying to get that aggression through Vice to pin you down.
This is not a naked Vi, as you like to call it. She has a full mecha transformation sequence as Galio comes flying in from the heavens to support her. And that's not including the Kai'Sa, or, of course, the likes of this Nico as well as here. As a combo, decent wave clear with the ranged autos on Calibrum. The Void Seeker just shied there. Out. Thinking about a Q forwards. Of course he is. And the thing is, any other player say, nah, they wouldn't go for that. But it's BAUS. And therefore he actually might. So I have to keep an eye on it.
Hey man, if you have a Kai'Sa and a Galio diving in with you, I mean, I guess that's a risk you're willing to take, especially with like 11,000 gold in the lead right here. They are looking again for Shiganari. He's playing very safe. Still no flash.
The wallets have turned into the hold down vault. Ibai, quite known for breaking those. Just press Q once or twice. In comes the Glacial Prison. It's nice, but there's just no follow-up. It's only onto Reckless. Not the most valuable target. Shield of Durant onto the front line. Obstinatus flashes away on the thresh. In goes Reckless. Pop Blossom on 3. Crowdy follows. They try and buy some time. The villain's entrance is followed by the hero's rebuttal. They'll keep throwing out the Acathian Rain, and they know what they say about that. When it rains, it pours. Verdant will be absolutely annihilated. 3-0 for Los RATONES. And Denmark, check your harbors, check your ships. They're full of rats. Los RATONES are heading to finals.